Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'm back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2019 December kits today. And I'm actually starting this layout with my picture. Usually I make the background and then figure out the picture, but I'm going to base everything that I'm going to use off of the picture. And it's me standing in front of a giant, cute, Christmassy snowman. So right away I knew that I wanted to use a lot of the snowmen in the kits as well as the Christmas trees. And in the picture, there's obviously a lot of white, red, and then a lot of green trees behind me. So I'm gonna definitely incorporate traditional Christmas colors, but at the same time, I'm gonna bring in some more colors so it's not strictly red and green. I'm not a huge fan of just red and green together. So I'm gonna make it work for me. And I don't know quite yet where my mixed media is going to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and coat this whole sheet of white, thick, smooth cardstock with clear gesso. And then this paper here is from Crate Paper, and it's dark green, which is one of my least favorite colors in scrapbooking. I don't know why. I just tend to not use a lot of dark green, but you know what? It's going to go with my picture, and I think it goes really well with everything that I wind up using. So I'm going to challenge myself to use it. So my idea for this was to create sort of a scene, and I'm going to make basically the base line here that's, I guess you could say, is kind of the grass, is that big strip of paper that I just tore. And then I'm going to put my photo kind of right where you see it, and then tuck in a lot of trees and snowmen kind of overlapping. So it's basically just going to be all these cute snowmen and trees surrounding the photo kind of in a crooked line. And I really like the way it turns out. It got me using a lot of things I wouldn't normally use. I live in Florida, so I honestly do not have any winter pictures. We took a recent quick little trip to Las Vegas right before Christmas, and of course it was cold and everything was decorated for winter and Christmas, and so I got lots of pictures of actual Christmas and wintry type things, and so I could not wait to scrap some of them using winter products. So anyway, you can kind of see the idea that I've got going there with all of the little trees and snowmen. So here's where I'm going to bring in some of the mixed media. Now I wanted to create some more dimension, so I tore another strip of that green paper, and I'm going to overlap it because I just want it to look a little layered and not so flat. And then I'm going to basically tape them together and then kind of use my hands to curl up the white part there that tore to kind of make it look like it's kind of jumping off the page. And I thought, you know, it was not snowing in these pictures, and it definitely doesn't snow here, but whenever I make Christmassy or wintry layouts, I don't know, I just tend to like it to look kind of snowy. So I thought that I would whiten up some of this dark green paper and make it look kind of frosty using some white gesso. So all I'm doing is my bottle. I know I said this in my last few videos, but my bottle's almost empty there, so I'm having to kind of tap the end of it there to get some gesso out. But it's perfect because it's just a little amount, and then I'm going to use my finger to kind of smudge it. And this is just going to give the look of some snowy frost, I guess you could say. So I really like how this turns out. And this green strip, actually, it kind of, it's just going to act as a place to put all of the trees and the snowmen, so they're not just kind of floating around beside the picture. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of where I'm starting, and we're going to go from there. So I've got that idea down. Now I'm going to start to work on the background. I'm going to use 3 different Lindy's powders today. The first one that I'm going to use is one that we get in the December color kit, and it is called Andrea's Azalea, and it's a beautiful pink color. It's almost kind of like a rose pink. It's very, very pretty, as you can see there. All I did was tap some of the powder out on the background, spritz it with water, and then I'm just going to use my brush to kind of spread the paint around. And then I'm going to mix in some of the Cocklebell's Coral, and we got that a few months ago, and it's more of like corally pink color. You can kind of see the difference there. It's hard to tell what these colors are going to be when they're in the powder form, because when you add water to them, they kind of have multiple colors in there, and you don't know what it is until you spritz it with water. And that's why they're magical, because it's really cool when the water hits it to watch what colors kind of emerge from those powders. I did use a little bit of spray. You saw me add some spray there. That was from a Lindy's Starburst spray that we got a long time ago. And that one's called Cotton Candy Pink. And it's pretty much just like a soft pink color. So I let that dry a little bit, and now I thought I wanted to add just a hint of a darker red color. So I pulled out the Alpine Ice Rose color of the magical powders, and that one's in the shaker bottle, and we got that several months ago as well. And it's just more of a darker, it's not full-on red. It's definitely a shade of pink, but it's got more of a red flavor to it. But it also has pink powders in it, and so sometimes you're going to get a red color, and then sometimes you're going to get this hot pink little bit that's going to shoot out there when you add the water. So it's really cool to watch all of these colors kind of work together. But anyway, that looks like a hot mess until I start to add things back on top of it. So this is kind of where I thought I would incorporate a little bit of pink into this layout, and so it's not just red and green. And there's also some black elements that I'm going to use, because some of the Christmas trees and some of the hats on the snowmen are black, and then in the photo I'm wearing a black jacket, and so I thought, you know, there was several opportunities to pull in some of the black color. So I'm going to use my heat gun here on a little bit of this background just to kind of go ahead and dry it up. And then now it's dry, and you can see how shimmery it is. Very, very pretty. I love that. So now it's not just red and green. And at first I was kind of thinking about doing a gold color instead of the pink, because I wasn't sure about that dark green paper mixed with pink. But I think once I pull everything back like I'm doing now, it's okay, because a lot of that green is lightened up with all the white in the snowmen and the picture. So it kind of just takes on a whole different look. And I love how this is looking. I love the little snowmen layered in between the trees. And so a lot of this is chipboard. So it's going to be, you know, it's going to be dimensional. So it's definitely not a flat layout. Now I did want to add in some shine. So I pulled in some gold. This is that Jen Hadfield gold glitter spray that we got last month. I think that was in the December documented color kit. And it is, I'm telling you, it is the exact same thing as Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. I cannot tell a difference. It is a wonderful one. I don't know. I had someone ask me where else you can get that. I'm not sure. I have not looked, but be on the lookout for it. It's Jen Hadfield Gold Glitter Spray. So back to what I was saying earlier about snow. My favorite way to add white splatters is to just take some white acrylic paint, water it down, and then use a brush to splatter it. And it shows up especially nice on some dark paper like you see here. So I love that. It looks like it's snowing. For snowmen, you know, you got to use snow. Love it. All right, so I pulled off one of the little stamps from the crepe paper stamp set that we get. I can't remember what kit that comes in, but there's this little Christmas tree on it. And so I thought I would echo some more of the black and just stamp a couple of these little trees right onto the background. And it actually matches a couple of the chipboard black and white trees that I've got going on there. And since I used smooth, clear gesso, it stamped on the background perfectly. It did not interfere with the stamping. I did pull a couple of die cuts from the exclusive die cut pack. I thought I would add some pops of red, so I pulled out a couple of flowers and then little sprigs with little red berries on them. I have a little red heart I'm going to wind up using. But yeah, now you can kind of see the idea of what I was talking about with a scene. It's really not hard to create a scene. It doesn't really take that much. If you've got some trees, if you've got birds, butterflies, any type of animal mixed in with flowers, or in this instance, trees. Yeah, just tear some paper, put your photo somewhere on that line, and then layer in your little elements there. And I think it turns out really, really cute. All right, so now I'm going to work on getting everything glued down. I'm not going to layer anything special behind my photo except some white tissue paper here, just to give it a little bit of a border, something around there, so it's not just a perfectly straight photo. I don't know. I like the idea of a messy layer. I don't even know why, I just do. So that's why I do the tissue paper. It just gives like a subtle bit of separation between the background and the photo. And then I'm going to add in some adhesive foam to a couple things. Since the chipboard is so dimensional, some of these pieces I'm going to pop off the page. Some of them I'm going to just glue directly down because everything's overlapping something else. So I wanted to make sure that everything was kind of at level. Now this tree here is actually one of those paper clips, but I just tore the paper clip off and I'm just going to use it as basically like a little rubber embellishment there. And then I'm going to start to glue everything down. Like I said, some of it is tucked on top of the photo, some of it's underneath the photo. But yeah, I'm just going to make sure everything's glued down. Even though the chipboard is obviously sticky, whenever you layer like this and things are uneven and then you use gesso, it's always a good idea to glue things down, just because sometimes things stick better than others. Chipboard tends to not stick that great. Foam things tend to stick really, really well, but none of this is foam. So anyway, I'm just gluing. That's all that's happening here. So I got most of that done. Oh, I forgot a little piece. That's a little die cut, like I said, with little red berries. And that's just going to give a little pop of red in that area. Now this is that coppery matte metallic set of thickers. And I realized after I glued everything down that there are some trees on there. So I thought, okay, I have to use these. They're trees. If I'm going to use trees, this is the layout to do it. And I love these. So I'm going to layer in a couple of those. I love that there's some bigger ones and some smaller ones. Yeah, gonna add in some of those. I wish I had more of those. Trees are just easy to use. I don't know what it is. It's just easy to layer them and to overlap them behind each other. And it does create depth. It does look like some are further away and some are closer together. And I love that effect. And again, glue them down because nothing wants to stick. All right, so now I'm going to work on some thread. I don't think I've glued the actual photo down yet. I think everything else is glued down. Now, I did want the essence of red without being too red. So I pulled 4 big pulls of light pink thread and then 2 pulls of red. And I kind of tangled them up together. So it's mostly pink, but it's got the hint of red. So you still get the idea of red. And like I said in the beginning, I'm going to be using red, I'm going to be using green, but sparingly. So it's still, you know, when you still look at it, it looks like a winter / Christmas layout, but it's not overkill with the red and the green. So I did the same thing there down at the bottom, and then now I'm going to go through and very carefully glue the photo down and make sure I get glue where the thread is so it stays put. And then I went back and forth about the title. I went back to that thicker sheet and I decided to use the word winter, and I'm going to try to overlap it onto the top of the photo there. But again, I couldn't really add adhesive foam to this because it's so skinny. The word is skinny. So I didn't want it to look kind of some of it glued to the background and then some of it glued to the picture. It would be kind of crooked, but it winds up looking okay. I don't think it's too crooked, or however you want to say it there. And then I'm going to use these pretty little studio black stickers, and it's just going to be Winter in Vegas. That's going to be my title because that's where we were. And I like to use different fonts and different sizes of alphas and words when I make my title. And so I like that winter is scripty, and then these alphas are just block letters. And I like that they're small, so the little title is just kind of there and compact. And then I'm going to do my journaling right under it. And I thought I would add one more snowman down there at the bottom to kind of pull in all the snowmen into that area. And then I'm going to use my T-square ruler here and my pencil to draw in some lines for journaling. And I'm going to use my black pen for that. I think gold would have worked also, but like I said, there are pops of black throughout the page, and so I thought I would just use my black fine tip Sharpie for that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is, oh, here, I wanted to show you the dimension. You can kind of see how everything is layered. And then these, I cannot remember who these are from. I had already opened up the packaging. I can't remember who they're from, but they're these really cute enamel dots. They're fancy. They're very dimensional. I'm going to use these light, shimmery gold color ones on the top and the bottom of the page. And then I think that's it. I did add the date stamp. I think my one date stamp that's got 2019 left in the dates. But yeah, anyway, there's the final layout. I love how this turned out. I think my little scene turned out cute. And I'm so glad that I had a winter photo to scrap, because ordinarily I would not be using snowmen on a page because I don't have any snowman related type pictures, but it worked out for the best. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it gives you some ideas on how to incorporate some other colors into the red and green of Christmas. You don't always have to go traditional. It's fun to bring in some extra colors while still using those traditional colors. But anyway, I like how this turned out. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, be on the lookout for January kits. They were just revealed. I cannot wait to get those. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.